Three, two, one, let's go! What's good, fam? Fellas who are watching, any ladies if you're watching too. Let me put my watch on, look nice and special for this YouTube video. Hey, so this is meant to be like a non-bullshit type of video. I don't expect it to go viral. I don't expect a lot of people to watch it. Maybe just people who are seeing some of my content and want to spend a little bit more time with me. I literally just want to give you an introduction into who I am, how I kind of got into coaching, why I got into it, a little bit about my story, where I'm from, what I actually teach, like how the coaching process works, why this matters to me, and why I hope it matters to other people. And then lastly, my vision for the future. So let's start with an introduction to me. So my name is Carlos Giraldo, or I go by Coach Carlos. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I lived there for the first 20 years of my life. I've done a ton of traveling. So from Chicago, I left school and tried to start my own business originally when I was 20, 21. I moved to Toronto. From there, I moved to California, where I worked as a trader for a big finance company, TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. Worked there for 10 years. Lived in California for 10 years and then moved to Miami 2 years ago. I met another big dating coach, shout out my guy, who put me on to coaching, and it really just kind of filled in the pieces of my life that I felt like were missing and what I was really looking for. So a little bit of the background, I guess, on how I got into coaching specifically. So I was always very good with people. I've always been very social. If you're my friend watching from around the world, any of the places that I lived, shout outs, I hope you're doing good. But I was always very social. There was a time in my life where, like a lot of men, I got heartbroken. I don't want to blame anybody. That's not why I'm bringing this up. I'm just bringing this up because that was the catalyst for a massive change for me, right? So this happened when I was around 20. I had to look at myself and say, okay, how did I get myself in this position? That's pretty shitty. A lot of realization that it was self-induced pain, and things were not going right because of my actions, my behaviors, my consciousness, my self-awareness. So I went into this massive personal development and self-conscious journey. I remember reading books where I was learning how to have consciously have empathy, where I could look at someone and try to imagine what they were thinking, what they were feeling. And I thought it was kind of mind-blowing just to, I guess, try to elevate my consciousness. Because when I was younger, again, I was good with people. I was just very unconscious about it. I was just never really thinking about what I was doing. I was always just in a flow state. Because I guess I just didn't know any better, right? As you get older, you see that sometimes that can put you in bad situations that could have been better, so you want to become conscious of every action that you're taking, right? So with that being said, I started to pursue around this time when I was 23, 24, social confidence. So I actually had always been really big on reading dating forums and learning about dating because I wanted healthier relationships. I didn't want to date women that I was fond of and have very unhealthy relationships with them, fight with them, be toxic, find myself in repetitive patterns like that. So I was always seeking out this information specifically in dating. And over time, I started approaching. I started learning that approaching is not only can be fun for you, can be fun for the other person you're connecting with, and ultimately helps you become confident as a man and helps you deal with rejections. So talking about cold approach, I'll probably have to have cold approached around 5,000 people, obviously women. Obviously most of those are rejections, but the ones that hit are great connections. You stay in touch. You have awesome stories from them. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you learn how to cold approach. It's probably the number one skill as a man that's going to pull that lever of real social confidence internally. And women are a mirror. They're going to force you to level up. They're going to force you to look at all the things that you're lacking in and become better and raise your standard and elevate in all these different areas. So let's get into why I coach, I guess. So that's basically In a nutshell, lived in Chicago, moved to California. I was always in social media. I was a videographer before, working in finance as a trader, because I wanted to make money. But I was always studying dating, and then I transitioned to Miami where I made dating my coaching thing. So now I'm here. Why I coach? Again, so when I was younger, when I was 20, when I when all these things weren't going right in my life because I wasn't super conscious of the decisions that I was making like everybody else, there were points where I felt kind of hopeless. Like I didn't really have confidence. Nothing was really going right. It was just a very frustrating period in my life that I know a lot of men go through. And with coaching, like I've said before, at this point, I think I've coached maybe 50 or 60 men through that process. I say it's dating abundance, but it's really an internal transformation of maybe feeling not as confident. Because I remember not being able to, feeling really nervous when I was trying to socialize with women in this period and not really being able to approach them, not connecting the way I knew I could have. And it was just very frustrating, right? So a lot of my clients, they come in, the very first thing that we focus on is just being able to go up and talk to people. And men, we can get very logical. We need to be in order a lot of times to grow our businesses and survive in the world. So it creates this dynamic sometimes where if it doesn't make sense, we don't want to do it. And we can logically think ourselves into avoiding certain actions that are uncomfortable. So what I typically do, first of all, let's get you talking to people. Let's get you social. Let's get you making friends. Let's start working on your aesthetics. So let's clean you up. Let's groom you. Let's get a haircut that fits your style. Let's get you in the gym. Let's get you right financially. So all these different things in our ecosystem is not just dating. It's overall evolution of a man. And I'm super passionate about this, like I said, because I've always been super into personal development, traveling, meeting new people, learning new things through dating, trying to have the healthiest relationships I can. Trying to learn attraction, trying to learn business, all these different things. That's what our ecosystem is. It's overall becoming the best version of yourself that you can. And a lot of times you just need someone there with you to push you, to hold you accountable. So many of my guys tell me, I feel just safer doing this thing with you here on the phone with me, you pushing me, because I've been through that process. I've been through, listen, like if we're talking about approaching, which some of the guys might be here, I've said, I've approached thousands of women, of people. I've had thousands of dates or hundreds of dates from this. I have the result, right? I have dating abundance, but it's not even just about that. It's about everything else that'll get you to that point. Hitting the gym, staying disciplined, blocking out your schedule, keeping good habits, working on your business. All these different things accumulate into your dating abundance, right? And obviously that's super important, but what's more important is that identity that you start to create. I'm going to just talk about it one more time. I know what it's like to be in a version of yourself where you're depressed. Listen, man, like I'm just going to keep it G. Let's keep it real. Some guys have told me, like, not my clients specifically, just having conversations with men, like, I'm not like suicidal at any point, but like, I don't care if I don't wake up like that. Like men have told that to me before, but sometimes you need someone to support you, to keep you accountable, and to help you through that chapter or that rut that you might be stuck in, right? Okay, so let's talk about what I actually teach. So we teach dating abundance, right? So there's 4 phases. First of all, going up and talking to people, being more social. Then cold approaching, running these 10, 15-minute interactions that are actually going to build attraction and you can convert to dates. From there, running solid dates, running a good first date that's going to convert to second and third. And then lastly, being in like a long-term relationships. But again, more importantly than that result, it's what happens when you join the program. It's everything. It's becoming the most evolved man that you possibly can in every area and everything that you want to accomplish, right? That's mostly what that's what our ecosystem is, and having a community there to support you through that process, right? So why this matters to me, like I said, I am so passionate and I get emotional when I'm working with my clients, because when I see a guy freezing up or feeling nervous or not feeling confident, which I do, obviously, it takes me back to that exact place that I was at when I didn't feel confident, when I was nervous. And if I can fast track that process for you, that took me 5 to 10 years to evolve into like a more confident version of myself. If I can get you there in I'm not going to say 2 weeks, in our 8-week program, and then possibly longer if you decide to stay with us through your journey, that's all that I can ask for. When I have a guy who comes in and he's 19, 20, 25 years old, I wish I would have known what I teach and what I show men to do when I was that age, right? I spent a lot of time. Unfortunately, I always enjoyed my 20s in my life. I did what I wanted, but there were ways I could have optimized myself to have a better result, right? So when I see men come in and they have an internal transformation and they leave a lot more confident and they're happy that they're getting more of the result that they came in for, that is all I could ask for. Talking to my clients truly is the best part of my day. I tell them that all the time. I just feel like I literally like in my bones, like deep internally, this is what I was made to do. If you told me that I could be a professional athlete, if you told me I could just be a millionaire and be retired, if you told me that I could be a rapper, that'd be kind of cool. But this is truly the most fulfilling thing that I could do. And I would just I truly would choose this over all that. Again, like it'd probably be fun to go on stage and like rap and shit. Wear a big ass chain, but this just feels to me like I'm helping my younger self, right? That's why this matters to me. And here's my long-term vision. So lastly, yeah, son. Lastly, what I want is to eventually create a brand where, you know, I have a bigger voice, like a Jay Shetty, Alex Hormozy. These are guys that I admire. Lewis Howes, he's cool. What's the dating coach in LA? Matthew Hussey. Like something like that, but that's more authentic to me, right? Like I've had a different journey than those guys, I'm sure. I know that I'm a little bit more like intense, I think, by nature than some of them. So I eventually just want a brand that's focused on personal development for people. I would honestly love to coach women at some point too. For men, I really understand the process that it takes to get better at dating and to become more confident. For women, it's a little bit more ambiguous in terms of like how to enhance their dating life. I guess discipline comes down to the same thing. It comes down to discipline, just kind of thinking out loud. But anyway, I eventually want a brand where I'm helping people become the most confident versions of themselves, right? And like, I realize there's a big disconnect between men and women these days. And I would like to eventually help bridge that gap a little bit so we understand each other and people have healthier relationships. And I'm really interested to see where relationships go. Like I know a lot of men are frustrated with relationships these days. Like I talk to my friends and some of them are just done with dating. They just don't do it. Like I said, my vision is to just have a big brand where, you know, I'm helping people. That was always what I wanted. I was doing that through videography and just kind of putting my art out there as I was younger. I always knew I wanted to be a coach. It's actually funny. When I was like 20, 21, 22, I had personal coach on my Instagram as my job, but I was just making videos, right? So, I mean, this is my passion. I'm at the point now where I have enough experience where I could definitely take men through the physical, mental, emotional transformation to become their most confident self. And yeah, I just wanted to make this so you can spend 10, 15, 20 minutes with me, see that I'm a real person, see that I truly care. This is literally the most important thing to me. And I love it, and I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. I feel like I have the skill set at this point in life experience to be able to take this as far as I can. So, and try to impact as many people as I can, because ultimately, you know, that's the goal. So if you have any questions for me, hit me in the comments, hit me on Instagram, text me, whatever you want. I just want to say I love you. It's all love. Always. And let's continue to evolve into the best versions of ourselves. Much love.